Was RockQuest a thing?
No, not for me.
Yeah.
No, I got into guitar like sixth form, essentially.
Yeah, right.
Seventh form, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I was, I'm still there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That would have been really fun.
Because that was my lifeline and
Nice,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
RockQuest thing a year.
Yeah.
And actually when I left high school, I started doing a bit of work for them, which was really handy, bit of extra money. But my first job was helping co-judge like the Invercargill, the Southern Regional Finals. And I remember that being like, I bet this is going to be like metal. And it was like 13 out of the 14 bands were metal bands. And I was like, personally, I was like, I get this. This is my people. But I remember, I think I was with Mike Fabulous from the Black Seeds.
Right.
And he was like, another metal band? Okay. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Come on.
It's so funny you should say that. Like when I think of Invercargill, not that I was ever involved in the music scene, but when I think of Invercargill music scene, I think of metal to the point where growing up on the farm, be like Shearer would come out and no doubt they were probably in a metal band too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
It is such a rural thing, isn't it? It just kind of, I don't know, like, have you heard the like cliche that, you know, the heavier the music, the nicer the people making it usually?
Yeah.
And I actually kind of fit like, that fits with me of like my small town nice people. You know, lots of small town people can be like really, really nice, and actually those two things meld together really well for me.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Right. Okay. So then when did the music world and the practical world start meeting one another?
So I had this band, I was at university, and it's kind of like fizzling out, and I was really keen to make a harmonic percolator.
Right.
Have you heard of
Yes,
that?
yeah.
So popularised by Steve Albini of Shellac fame and Big Black. And I like looked it up and I like found the schematic and I was like, man, this is just really intense. I couldn't really deal with it at that point. And then later on, where I found I could buy a kit, like a pedal kit off Etsy.
Wow.
Back when it was probably a bit more legitimate, and purchased it. And I managed to put it together and it worked first go, and it like just blew my mind
That was it.
that I could make this. And it was like making Lego as an adult that makes noise.
Yeah. Amazing.
Practical Lego.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that makes me think, which is kind of interesting, that like the why of getting into pedals. It seems like for a lot of people, and it's interesting hearing it from you as well, it's a lot about access. It's a lot about like the initial thing of like, oh, I really like this thing and that thing, but we're in New Zealand and also pedals can be expensive and all those things. And so, and is that definitely, it sounds like it was part of the.
Yeah. So I think harmonic percolators are really popular now, and there's so many different people making them. At that point, there weren't that many options, and the ones that were really hard to source and expensive. So and then I found this kit and I was like, way cheaper than buying one, and I can learn to do it myself. Yeah,
which is mental, because it's like it makes me feel like a dumbass for not learning how to do it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I kind of think that, like, I mean, there's loads of amazing musicians who don't understand music theory.
True.
Like, why do you need to understand how an amp works to make great music?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's
in fact,
true.
it's actually probably more interesting if you don't.
Yeah. No, of course.
You don't try to use it as you should. You kind of experiment, and what comes out sounds good to you.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with you. I also have a problem with that, because I'm one of those people, and I feel like part of that attitude has excused or like empowered. I've been celebrated for not knowing what I'm doing and being like, oh, that's a good job. And then you get validated. And then I've never had any incentive to ever learn what I was doing. So I was like, oh, people are already like saying I can do it. I'll just keep doing nothing then. But no, I totally agree. I mean, when I was there, it's a real thing. I was just talking to a friend recently, actually, who was like, oh, I want to be getting back into doing music stuff, but I'm just not feeling like excited and motivated about it. And my bit of advice from was like, buy a new bit of gear.
Yeah.
Because I think they are like the toys for us as musicians, kind of. Like, I guess I should ask, like, what is your relationship as someone with, say, like the pedals and the gear around music now that you're someone who like intimately knows how they work and can just kind of throw them together yourself. Like, how do you relate to them?
I think about this the other day, actually. I kind of think, so like, the cherry analogy, like for painting, like your amp is like the kind of canvas. Your guitar is like the brush, and I guess the pedals are kind of like different paints you can put on using the brush, you know.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
a terrible analogy, but
no, but it is kind of right?
Yeah, so that's kind of how I kind of think of them. I did go through a phase of very severe gas and wanting. It's probably worse if you can make things, because then all of a sudden you're like, I can make everything. You really realize quickly that you don't have enough time to do that.
Yeah.
And then I've just got this like a never-ending list of things that I'd like to make.
How long does it take to make a pedal? Okay, I guess we should say like for a kit of something that already exists, and then also like say for one of your pedals that maybe you're
like
putting together.
A kit pedal. If I bought a kit, I could probably make it like in an evening.
Wow.
I mean, the bit that takes the longest is the enclosure. Well, multiple parts that take a long time, but like drilling the enclosure and stuff like that. If it turns up in the kit, it's already got the holes in it, and you just basically just put it together. I mean, it'll just be a plain box that has switches and buttons and knobs, but it'll make noise. It'll sound cool.
Yes, of course.
But for example, I run of pedals with HOIHOI, the Ahi. So that definitely took quite a long time.
And is it when it becomes those pedals, what's the thing that blows the time out?
Definitely designing the circuit. So it's essentially a harmonic percolator they've kind of modified. That was kind of modeling it on computer software. Then something called breadboarding, where you basically like test it out on this basically this plastic board, lots of holes, and you stick all the components in it and join them together and check it against what you're like designing on the schematic and the computer with the model. And then once you're kind of happy with that, then you like design a printed circuit board. Then you got to get them printed, and then they get them back and you assemble it, check it's working. Okay, sweet. And now I can assemble all of them. And then also with that one, I had to like test a whole bunch of different transistors. It's getting pretty nerdy detail here, to make sure they all were in like the right tolerance to make the pedal sound how I wanted it to sound, and then just drilling all the enclosures and getting so there's a whole bunch of different parts.
But that's the thing that's really interesting to me, because like we're talking about like pedals and gear kind of being like toys, but also paints and all those things, and you're able to access that as like the music part of you, and then but the actual like creation of that gear, it's very intentional. Like you're saying, like that, you have a sound that you want to get, you have to be in a computer program and all those things, and like that's the thing for me that I get amazed by, because for me, I only experience. I have no relatability to that side of the intentionality stuff, so it fascinates me.
I look at something like that, like Chase Bliss make, and it's just like blows my mind the amount of, and like multiple people obviously be working on those ones to design them, but it's just amazing. Like we live in a golden age right now of guitar pedals.
Yeah, do you think so?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, like even just the last 10 years, I reckon, from where things were to now, like gear is pretty amazing.
And why do you think that is? Is that obviously it's probably a combination of things, but is it like consumer demand? Is it the internet and how people can share those things? Is it like technology breakthroughs, or like what is it?
Probably all of that. Right. I think the internet definitely has done a lot to share all this information. Like obviously pedals are quite old, like kind of originally like from the 70s is kind of when they started to kind of take shape as they are now. But all the information for like DIYers to do it was just in book, and then internet come along and it like they would disseminate that to heaps and heaps of people. So that's definitely one factor, is accessibility to kind of all these different circuit designs and stuff, and definitely technology too, being able to get things manufactured reasonably cheaply and quickly. It's like China, like we've got these printed circuit boards, so the Ahi pedals all printed over there. Like 10, 15 years ago, or maybe a bit longer, that wouldn't have been a thing. You'd have to do that all yourself. Much more labour intensive and involved or expensive to get someone to do them in New Zealand. So whole raft of different things, I think. Yeah.
And it feels like there's like different, it's one of those areas of music where there's like such a different array of personalities in the pedal building thing now as well. A lot of the companies, like, they have a lot more personality than maybe the big corporations did that came through. Like, you know, like Chase Bliss has a very, very much its own personality that comes through on the pedals and the things that they produce.
Yeah, totally.
Compared to, say, like a JHS, and then compared to like the, you know, Death by Audio.
Yeah,
is a classic one of like that. Just they all sound like that thing.
Yeah. Oliver Ackerman he's awesome.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's nuts. One of Ben from Grift Horse. He's another one of the impractical musicians, and he turned up to practice and gave me this like yellow enclosure. I'm like, what is this? He's like, oh, that's a fuzz gun, like clone kit thing. And it was amazing. It really feels like someone coming down from like, you know, the Sermon on the Mount, just giving me a magical thing. Mystified by it.
Cool.
And so, you know, do you have like a type of effect that you naturally like more than the others that you find yourself wanting to build?
So like any dirt
You're a
pedal.
dirt guy.
They're really easy to build. So it's really easy to build a whole lot of them to try them out. Yeah. Because they are super simple. Relatively simple compared to other things. Like a flanger is very difficult. For example.
Why is it difficult?
It's quite a tricky question to answer.
Can you explain it like a 5-year-old? Like, is it because of the time the time effects you've got to?
Time-based effects are definitely more challenging. There's a lot more going on with them, and I think with flanger, because it's such small changes in time, it's quite difficult to do that, especially in analog realm.
Yeah, which is what you operate in.
Yeah. For now, yeah.
But you'd want to.
I'd like to get into digital. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What's the barrier of entry to the digital stuff?
Just learning to code.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So say like Strymon pedals and stuff, which are all very like digital DSP stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Amazing stuff. Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is like that is done, and that's basically software.
Essentially, yeah. So this is where Chase Bliss is so cool, because they're essentially analog effects but are controlled digitally.
Okay. So I have heard. So how does that work? It's just like, because I think analog, the electricity just runs through it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, just like an example. So you've got an analog pedal with like a flanger or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got loads of knobs, and like get your favorite setting. You're like, cool, this is awesome. But then you want to try something different. You've got to like write down your settings for next time when you go back to it. But with like digital, it's still an analog setting, but you can set all the controls how you want them, and then basically get it to remember those positions for that setting, even though it's an analog circuit.
Wow.
That's kind of a simple example.
Which is how they're able to have all those dip switches on the back.
Well.
Crazy.
So, I think, it's in a nutshell. Yeah,
of course. And just to take it back to the dirt pedals, people, this has just turned into me asking you questions.
That's all good.
No problem. But like, there's all this chat about having particular transistors and all of this stuff. How much do you buy into all that kind of stuff? You're like, oh, it really matters, and I like particular ones, or it's like...
No, it does matter. Oh, well, yes, kind of yes and no. So a lot of the like fuzzers from the 60s use a particular type called a germanium transistor. And you need a germanium transistor to get a germanium fuzz kind of thing. Then there's people will say you have to use this type of germanium transistor.
Right.
But you can get away with using different types of germanium transistor, provided that the kind of like the tolerance or whatever of that transistor kind of fits a certain criteria. So
you did very well.
Kind of yes and no.
That. Yes, yeah, you did very well to explain that. And one other question I have about the analog and digital stuff is there a worry that these things that analog guitar pedals rely on, especially less of the commercial ones that rely on certain things being manufactured, like germanium transistor, is there any element of any of that like could go away or stop being produced or could run out?
Probably. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm not sure. I had actually kind of wondered that myself, but I've never looked into it. But there must be a finite resource of germanium transistors. So you still see people have found like huge new old stock boxes of transistors that come from somewhere. Oh, this is warehouses everywhere. I mean, most transistors back in the day were made for like military purposes. So a lot of the germanium ones are like Soviet military, ex-military.
Yeah, right.
Built for that purpose, or same in like US and stuff as well. But obviously they don't use them for military purposes now.
No.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if, like, in 30 years' time, we'll be using the military chips from now in the new range of pedals.
Possibly.
It carries on.
Yeah. That cycle continues.
So back to yourself. When and why would be the two questions. Did it get from your building kits for pedals that you're like, I just like one of those and want to try one of those and kind of playing around, into what I would say is like started becoming kind of noticeably glacial pedals. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Like the elements I would say are like the wooden enclosures, or the enclosures themselves would be an element of it. Like, when did that stuff and that kind of like identity start coming into it?
So the Glacial Creative thing kind of sprang from doing DIY projects that aren't pedal based.
Yeah, okay.
So my wife and I had moved into a first house, and we're like, let's build furniture.
Oh, cool.
So we started building furniture, and I really like plywood because it's got its pros and cons, but it's relatively easy to work with. We're building furniture out of plywood, and I had a whole bunch of like offcuts, and I was like, I don't really want to throw this away. Like just throw them in the rubbish because you can't really do much else with these kind of random shaped pieces. At the same time, I just built that first pedal, and I was like experimenting building new ones, and I was like, well, maybe I can combine these things essentially, and reuse this wood that would otherwise go into rubbish, and put these pedal circuits that I was playing with inside them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it began. And friends also, my mate who was a builder gave me a whole bunch of like remove from buildings that had been demolished in the earthquakes as well, and kind of incorporated some of that into it too. Yeah.
And like, it's the round, because the round edges. Is that hard, or is that just, did that happen because of a practical thing that needed to happen, or was that a decision that was made? Because I look at that, go like, that looks hard to do.
That's pretty easy.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it was again from a furniture perspective. It's just like rounding off the router, the rounded router bit, putting a curve on it.
It was the first thing obviously I noticed they're made out of wood, but the rounding of them, that was very distinctly. I was like, that's
okay.
Cool. I quite liked that.
Right. Yeah. No, I haven't really thought about it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, cool. And obviously the first time I saw your pedals was actually on Andrew's board. Yeah, so
cool.
how did you and Andrew from Ōtautahi connect?
He just one day sent me a message saying
just seen them, and
I just been just checking stuff on my Instagram, and he saw them and sent me a message and said really like it, and I've got this project idea, which was the two DD3s in a single enclosure. He's like, do you want to do it? And, okay. So no, Andrew was really good to work with, and
And you've made stuff with Lachlan since then as well, right?
Yes, that was a bit different.
Yes,
it wasn't a pedal.
No, because he does sound design soundscapey stuff now, right?
Like soundtracks for films and TV shows and stuff.
And you made him like some kind of Frankenstein instrument or sound creator.
Yeah.
What was that process like?
Again, he just got in touch. Andrew put him in touch with me, and he said this is kind of the idea I have in mind. I forget there's another famous soundtrack artist from Canada who did that movie, the Witch.
Oh yes, the Witch.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And he had a custom instrument made for that movie.
Okay.
And Lachlan kind of was inspired by that and wanted something similar. So we kind of just brainstormed a few ideas, and I did a few concept sketches. Said kind of which one do you like? And so let's go with this one, and just kind of definitely had a lot of creative freedom with it, which was really fun, but also really scary too.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, I think it came out pretty well, and I used it on Mr. Organ, documentary by David Farrier.
Yes,
yeah.
I had a little bit of a tangent, but when I was in Auckland, I helped run a cafe called Crumb. My friend.
Great name.
Yeah. I can't take credit. It was him. It was on Crummer Road, right? So it helped. We're on the corner, and that house, the flat that David has the signs underneath, and he thinks someone had it. He thinks. That flat was just up the road from us.
Wow.
And so David would, when he was there, he would come in for coffee every now and then, and I had completely forgotten this thing from my memory until I watched Mr. Organ, and the whole thing about how he would just sit on the phone with him and he'll just go and go and go. I had this flashback to being in the cafe and David coming in and him going like, I'm like, hey dude, like, what are you doing? What's up? And he's just like, I'm on the, it's hard to explain. I'm on the phone to this guy, and he just like talks with it. And he was like, do you want to hear? And he passed me the phone, and I remember just hearing this, not being able to make sense of it, but just like someone just droning on and on and on, and me just being like, oh, wow, that's super weird. And it was Mr. Organ on the phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because at the time it was very just like, oh yeah, David's doing something weird. Classic. Like, don't know what he's up to. But seeing that documentary, I was like, oh my God, I heard Mr. Organ.
Yeah. That's nuts.
It's, for me, like, building an instrument, the theme that runs through me and like gear stuff is what you kind of described with the painting thing of like, it's very rare that painters just pick the colors when they're learning and they go, I'm just going to paint with these colors forever.
Yeah.
You know? And for musicians, gear is kind of that exploratory thing, or it can be like a very creative starting point for a lot of people. And I just think it's such a I do think it's sad in some ways that it gets spoken about in more like consumerist, capitalist kind of terms, i.e. like pedals as kind of collectibles and commodities.
Yeah.
Rather than the creative kind of kickstarters that they are often.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah.
And what I kind of wanted to, like, getting into that theme a little bit, I was so fascinated to know of someone like in the local area making music gear with like recycled wood and stuff from the local area as well. And it makes me think like about the idea of a city's sound or like a place's sound. Because like we talk about like the Dunedin sound, right? And it's like, what was that? That was individuals in a geographic location, and then musically it had similarities. But we as musicians know that like gear and all of these things plays as much of a role in what they're playing as well. So like how do you relate to like locality in say your just music experience or your like pedal experience or anything like that. Like, what do you think about if there was a Christchurch sound? Like, how would we even go about being like, what would a Christchurch sound ever be? Would it need Christchurch built? Would Christchurch built guitar pedals make a sound more Christchurch sound?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
And why not?
But like, yes, like pedals can help you, but they aren't like the thing that makes the sound. Like the people make the sound. Like I think the people are probably more the sound, more the like the environment of the location. Like Christchurch, I don't know, Dunedin, even though there's the Dunedin sound, like which in my mind is like kind of that kind of jangly, like the clean kind of stuff, doesn't seem to fit the like environment in my head.
Yes.
Like when I think Dunedin, mostly going there from university and always be hungover, and it always seemed grey, Dunedin and cold. The jangly sound thing didn't seem to like match up.
Yeah.
In my head. Where in Christchurch it feels like it's like more open and like bigger spaces, like for environment sound. But so yeah, I'm not sure if the pedals or like an instrument or something in particular really makes a particular sound. I think it's more the environment and the people.
Yeah, because
it's cliche, but yeah.
No, of course. I mean, and it's because it's so interesting because there's lots of chat, like say, like in other areas of life to produce and consume locally.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And then,
sure.
but I kind of agree with. Well, it's not that I agree with you, but it's more like music is really complicated. I think of like where is it coming from and what plays into it.
Yeah. And
so it's
I just kind of thinking on that with so in the like 60s and 70s there were those tariffs or limitations on what we couldn't import, like Fender or economy. So a whole bunch of like amps brands sprang up in New Zealand and like and guitars and stuff. So there's like a New Zealand, I guess, instrument and like amplifier type through that whole period of
which
time.
Would have influenced the sound.
Yeah.
But music's one of those weird things where, and I guess that's part of my fascination with talking with people like yourself, is that there are two things happening at once. There's what's actually happening and the perception of someone listening to it thinks is happening or what they think of it. So like they could both be true. Looking at that, I'd be like, because is that where Jansen comes from?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
there's a whole heap.
You could be super pretentious and go into like, well, Jansen, it was this New Zealand made amp, and so the sound is actually that's set like a stage for how New Zealand guitars especially are going to sound, which influence the next range of people who aren't using Jansens but are still chasing the Jansen sound, blah blah blah. But then people in New Zealand listening to the music at the time wouldn't have had any understanding that the thing was coming from New Zealand amps. So if it's not perceived, does it even matter?
Probably not. And if you look at like Jansen amps, at any of the New Zealand made ones, they're literally just clones of like Fenders and Marcus anyway, or like Vox ones.
But well, that's an interesting thing as well, because lots of gear is clones.
Absolutely.
Because there's not that many real effects.
It's pretty hard to create an original effect.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so it's kind of, and it's funny because music is kind of the same as well. It's not like many.
Yeah. No one's really reinventing the wheel.
No. It's really interesting when you put it that way. And like, so what even would a so then, and I'm obviously just thinking out loud. I don't have very good thoughts on this at all.
It's fun.
then maybe the sound of a scene is completely perception based then.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You just gotta sell it correctly. It's a marketing thing as well.
Yeah. I guess in a way when you make music you're influenced by other bands, you kind of like consciously or subconsciously kind of imitating it, just as the like amps back in the 70s were clones of, consciously or not, clones of Fenders
and then
or whatever.
And then there's people like me who don't even understand they're playing clones or where they come from. It's like, oh yeah, this is an original thing.
Yeah.
I really like this.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think like you should play something that you feel inspired. You get inspired by, like whether it's a clone, whether it's really expensive, whether it's cheap. If you play it and you get inspired in it, like to write something or whatever, then that's a win in my mind.
What's your favorite? What's the pedal that you've, or like, which of your pedals that you designed yourself and built are you like most proud of? And what was it?
It's kind of a few little like battles that I've had. I really like the Range Master. It's a clone, but it's a super simple design from the 60s, really finicky. That really sounds good in front of like a slightly overdriven amp. So really enjoyed them. But yeah, the Ahi one was really cool.
And is that the most recent one you?
That is, yeah. That we did with HOIHOI. That's being able to probably make music and release that, and then have a pedal with the release.
So cool.
It was pretty cool to do.
Because were the pedals part of the sound of the record as well?
They're used on that song,
which is amazing.
Yeah.
I just think that's such a cool story.
Cool. Yeah.
And can you tell me more? Because I saw on your Instagram the MS-20 filter.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that? Because I love that concept of putting iconic bits of like what's not, you wouldn't necessarily attach that kind of idea to a guitar or needing it in a stomp box, but I actually really like that. Like, how did that come about?
I'll show it after this, but I am planning on at some point some PCBs made for it. I'll do kind of like a little run of them, but I haven't got around to it. But yeah, I just kind of saw that and like, there's a pedal that I had read about that it's quite hard to come by now. I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but it's very trebly, like overdrive. And I was like, I wonder if I could kind of get close to that with like a filter pedal, and found this MS-20 schematic and sort of done a variboard of it. I was designed for a variboard, so I just built that up and put a boost at the end of it to increase the volume and put it in a closure.
So is it both ways, low pass and high pass?
Yeah, it does both. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. It didn't quite get to what I had in mind, but it's pretty close, and it still sounds really cool. And it'd be good to have with like an expression pedal, so you can like control the filter.
Yes.
Would be really cool. Yeah.
Is there any projects in your head that you haven't been able to like put into the real world yet in terms of pedals or sounds or things that you have stuck in there? Like one day I'm definitely going to make one of these.
Yeah. The next one I really want to do, there's a fuzz that I was like looking at for Andrew, and when I was just kind of testing it out, I was like, I want to keep this and modify it like for a future project for this type of fuzz. I really like Neil Young's guitar tone in the Dead Man Walking soundtrack.
Okay.
Do you know that?
No.
It's really good.
Cool.
It like kind of has acoustic, and then it like fades in, or this other electric guitar gets like faded in, and it's just kind of the way that the distortion decays is just really cool. It kind of like breaks up and crackles, and it's really cool. And I would like to try and imitate that.
Yeah, because that's becoming quite amps sound in a box, like amps in a box is becoming quite popular. Yeah.
Like,
I even saw there was that interview with Josh Homme from Queens of Stone Age where he bought that PV amp up,
Bandit,
and now PV have put out a guitar pedal that's the sound of that decade in a guitar pedal.
Yeah, and there's loads of like boutique builders who've done the same as well. Yeah. And now the PV Bandit is like worth heaps of money.
Reminds me of
so crazy.
Didn't JHS on their YouTube show do something with some pedal like that, like the Bad Monkey, where they were like, "Oh, the Bad Monkey is basically a clone." Yeah, it's that part of guitars. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I don't like it either.
It's a bit like blues lawyer vibes, you know.
Yeah. But people just then buying them up to sell them off, like flipping. Like pedal flippers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there a pedal at the moment that that someone else has made that gives you the most gas? That you're like, I want one of those so bad. Or are you not kind of at that stage at the moment?
Not right now.
Yeah.
I have been and probably will be again.
It's cyclical.
Anything by like Chase Bliss is just so cool, and just like the whole tech behind it is really cool. And they just seem like great people. Electronic audio experiments.
Okay, I don't know if I've heard
is it John Snyder who owns it? They do a really, really cool, mostly duets, like sort of delay and a few reverbs and stuff, but he's got like a PhD in electronics or something.
Oh.
So he knows what he's doing.
Mental.
And does really, really cool stuff. And there's another one, 29 pedals. More kind of like utility stuff, but really cool things.
Very unsexy, but I think really
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah. That they just make everything sound better, kind of thing.
Earthquaker even just put out like basically like a headphone output pedal.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and Earthquaker pedals too are really cool as well. Yeah.
I've got a data corruptor.
Cool.
And I love it.
Yeah.
It's the silliest guitar pedal, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they were like, yeah, we'll do this, but also put a huge square fuzz in there as well.
Yeah.
That's what I was using at Wunderbar.
Oh,
just
cool.
like squealing in the in
yes.
your third guitar, it's like just make some noise in the background.
Yeah.
Get because I've also got a flux pedal.
Oh.
Which is also made in Christchurch.
Yes,
but
I've heard
I
of
don't know
them.
if he's still operating.
Right.
But he made two. As far as I can tell, there were two pedals that whoever is flux pedals.
Yeah.
Find out.
I haven't heard of them for ages.
This amazing tap tremolo.
Yeah.
With these it's got so many good LFO forms. One of them was like a reverse peak in. I love that thing. But what's great about it is it's like I love a trem that you can tap. I actually use it instead of a delay because it sounds like I'm playing delay, but as soon as I stop picking or end the sustain, it's like a dead stop on the delay.
Yeah.
Which I really, really like. Yeah,
cool. Right, yeah. Like no tail.
No tail.
Yeah.
Which is fun. But yeah. Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Do you think, and so because I know you've been taking some time between making pedals, and I assume you've still been making stuff for yourself and messing around.
Yeah, little bits and pieces here and there. Yeah.
And like, so what's the plan? Obviously, you might make some more stuff for general short like release for the public that could buy it in the future at some point.
Yeah. Probably, if pedal wise, it'll probably be like related to HOIHOI stuff at this point in time. The main thing, kind of why I've been on hiatus, we've moved house, had a second kid.
Yes.
So it's been keeping us real busy.
That'll put the halt on life.
Yeah. But the main thing since we've kind of moved is at my old house, I used to have like a dedicated space that I'd built a room in my garage that we could have band practice, have all my electronic stuff out, and I need to do the same here. So
it's like that's like the new hardest thing is physical space for any of this stuff. Like to be creative and having it to get a physical space for it. People have been. That's been the main point of like the difficulty for like the last decade of me talking to people. It's not getting any easier either. And I suppose actually having like, what I would think is heavy machinery, but it's not like a forklift. But yeah, you need some space. You can't just have that lying around your living room, can you?
Yeah, it's more just a place where small hands can't get in and interrupt things. Yeah.
And do you've like you said, you've done some projects with some musicians. Do you have if people like contact you with ideas, is that something you do kind of, or is it just kind of like a friends and family more thing you do that for?
Kind of more at the moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully once I kind of get back up and running, I'll might be able to do some more stuff like that. But yeah, I think I've got a few pedal ideas I really would like to get into, but also like kind of instrument ideas as well.
Because I've seen some guitars you've built as well.
Yeah, this one here. Yeah.
Is what's more difficult, guitar or like?
Well, I haven't built a guitar neck yet, and I think Like that's the bit you really play when you play guitar is the neck. And I think that'll be much more difficult.
Yeah.
So I've only just built the body and assembled it, but yeah, so that would be very fun. Yeah, and also just like other kind of weird instrument ideas I have in my head that I like try and get out.
I really feel like it's not going to be long, but you have an entire signal chain of just stuff that you've hand built for yourself. You know what I mean? You're just missing the amp. You got to figure out how to make it a new amp for yourself.
Yeah. Definitely an amp is on the card at some point. For sure. Yeah,
That'd
no
be
doubt.
so cool, man. Oh, well, I really appreciate you making the time.
No, thank you.
That's all right. And I think maybe we'll have a quick little play with some.
Yeah,
videos.
sure. Why not?